being his first pro race. I'm pretty excited to see how he does. Got to get that start, though, get out front.
Now, Bell led the first moto last week. They crashed out. He is back today, and I talked to him earlier, said should be all right. So we'll see how he does on the 167. A pair of rookies here taking on some of the veterans. Blake Baggett, of course, your points leader. 2 Red Bull KTM riders, fastest in practice. You can't count out the Geico Honda squad. Riders like Eli Tomac, Justin Barcia. This is set to be a good one from Unadilla.
30 seconds, the board goes sideways. Gate will drop between 5 and 10 seconds.
And it's one of the Hondas going to lead them into turn 1. That is Zach Bell again. Zach Bell for the second week in a row has got the whole shot in Moto 1. It's Blake Baggett, your points leader, in second.
Yeah, there's another Geico. That looks like Justin Bogle, who was third off the line. But I tell you, Zach Bell, I mean, this is a little dude. He can't weigh no more than about 125 pounds.
Yeah.
And, you know, the other competitors, he's got to be 20 pounds lighter. And it's definitely working for him as he grabs another Moto 1 whole shot.
Baggett, whose starts have improved quite a bit in the last couple of weeks. As we said, is in second. Roczen just got around Bogle. He is into third, but Zach Bell already starting to open it up. We know this kid has spectacular speed. There is Jeremy Martin, the one to watch we just mentioned, just inside the top 10, I'd say, and everyone else just scrambling for real estate.
Looks like the 567 down. You got 57.
That's Canada.
Having a little bit of trouble getting the bike off him right there.
Man, that's
Hayes
a bummer
that
for
went
Jacob
down.
Hayes, another one of those rookies down there on that KTM. And now Marvin Musquin trying to go all the way, and I mean all the way around the outside of Bogle. Could not find the running room, so Bogle maintains fourth.
Ran out a little bit of real estate, but
Yep.
see the line starting to switch up. This is one of those sections of the track where it's inside outside. You're kind of going back and forth. Oh, Roczen going to the right of Baggett. They get close. Roczen comes up a little bit short on the step up, but look how fired up the German rider is.
Baggett off the track, he stepped over that rut, made a mistake, and now Roczen up to the number 2 spot. This track and these ruts, obviously 450 class race we just finished up, saw a bunch of crashes due to that, and then mistakes here in the 250 division.
Well, and after an extremely hot summer, okay, which Roczen has admitted that the heat here, the back-to-back races has been tough for him. Mother Nature is cooperating today, about 75 degrees, beautiful day, so the heat not really a factor. You take that out, this may be the type of conditions that Kid Roczen needs, because he's had the speed, Jason, all year long. But at the end of the motos, he's just lacked a little bit of fitness. We'll see if he can hold this, possibly take his first moto win in the Lucas Oil Pro Motocross Championship.
And we're watching Baggett here, who is battling with Bogle now in third and fourth. But the leader is Zach Bell, who is a rookie. This is his second pro race, picking up where he left off last week, where he was leading Moto 1. Got past, and then right after that went down. And that was it for his race. So, quick make good for Bell.
And Bell qualified 7th with a 220. Comes around that lap at a 217. So the track definitely drying up. It's rutted and stuff, but the track definitely quicker. He's got his hands full because look at the line of riders just behind the rookie. You got Roczen, Baggett, Bogle, Musquin, Wharton, and then comes the other rookie, Jeremy Martin, in 7th.
And where is Barcia? Where is Tomac? Tomac, 23rd right now. So not what he wanted to have happen on lap 1, and Barcia 15th.
Yeah, and Barcia was about 10th. It looks like he's dropped a position back to 15th there, but these last 2 rounds have been races where Barcia, who was his second in points, was looking for a big boost. Southwick, Unadilla, 2 of his favorite tracks. Now, last week didn't go as planned. Moto 1 here is not starting off like he was hoping for.
No, not at all. His starts have betrayed him, and he has been a great starter in this class the last few years. Here's who's off to a great start. Roczen feeling strong early in this moto, has caught your leader, Zach Bell, and he wants the number 1 spot.
Look at the lines that Roczen has. He really has got some speed. He looks confident. He looks aggressive, okay? Some of those races earlier in the year, even when he was leading, it's like he was kind of hanging on. right now he looks like he's totally in command of what he's doing.
Well, all year we've been talking about how Roczen is learning the tracks and learning this series, and there goes Bell. I was just going to say Bell is making Roczen somewhat of a veteran in this situation. You see the difference. That's the second time Bell has crashed while running up front in his first 2 pro races.
And counting the 450 moto, that's 4 times now that the leader has gone down or something happened and given up the lead.
Absolutely.
Weird day so far.
Do you just chalk it up to the track, or is when you get to this many numbers of crashes, it's just motocross, man?
This is Unadilla. The old timers that have been here, they know the legend of this race course and what it means.
You know who probably doesn't know? Roczen. Last week, everybody asked him, what does he think of the Unadilla track? He said, I don't know. I don't know anything about it. I haven't watched any videos yet. I'll figure it out when I get there. Here's the crash for Bell.
Yeah, watch, he's coming in on the outside, and watch, the line's gonna turn in tight. And he loses a little bit of traction, a little bit of weight to the inside, and Roczen, nice move there.
Yeah, to avoid it. Tuesday, catch an all-new UFC Ultimate Insider. It's the hardest hitting sports magazine show around. That's Tuesday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, only on Fuel TV. So your lead is Roczen. Bogle, Baggett, and Musquin are duking it out. And I'll tell you what, Musquin might be the fastest rider in this group, even though he's in the number 4 position. Look at him go after Baggett. Working his way around the outside. And they're going to head up this hill. And here goes Musquin to the inside on Baggett. And he's got the pass made, Jeff.
Well, Musquin, he was the fastest rider all day today. He's really been flying it. And he's so good with his technique about standing on the pegs. It's important to keep your feet up, to try to balance the bike, not sitting on the seat, dragging your foot. And look at the momentum that he can carry because of that. Trying to go around the outside. Let's see if he cuts back. No, he's going to ride the outside all the way around.
Didn't pay off for him there. Musquin is trying to make it a 1-2 for Red Bull KTM right now as his teammate Roczen's in the lead. Bogle up to second. Remember, he was spectacular in his pro debut at this track last year, running up front just like this. They're headed toward the wall. We got Georgia Lindsay down there. What are you seeing, Georgia?
Well, Ken Roczen's just passed us. He's just hit that 100-foot wall. He's just headed back up. And obviously Bogle in second, then we're followed by Marvin Preston in third. Now, they're getting pretty close, but he's really running away with the lead, Ken Roczen is. So, you know, maybe this really could be his first race win, but we'll see. But, I mean, this wall really is one of the most technical parts of the track. It's sketchy down there. The ruts are really growing.
And Musquin went to the inside, actually went off the track as he got cross-rutted, but at the same time, he's going to pass Bogle. That is going to be a tough judgment call. The rule is, Jeff, you go off the track, you can't gain position.
Yeah, and the yellow markers are not just suggestions for the track. That actually marks the track, but it's a safety issue. Of course, you know, back in the days, we used banners and different types of things. Those could get caught in your wheels. You know, became a safety issue, so they use these yellow track markers.
Wow, okay, so Musquin did gain a position. I don't know, that's going to be a tough call because obviously completed part of the pass down the straightaway when he was back on the track. Either way, he's in second place at the moment at least, and Baggett trying to get to work on Bogle for third.
And I tell you, just out the top of your screen right there, you see Blake Wharton on the Suzuki. He's followed by his teammate Anderson, so they're running some pretty good lap times right now. Baggett, of course, this season, to me, he's been very patient, and he knows that he doesn't have to battle Bogle here in the championship. He knows Roczen's back. He just has been so patient and so confident that going through the moto, even if he's second, third, fourth, but at the end of the race, your points leader, Blake Baggett, always seems to pour it on.
And he's pouring it on right now on Bogle, and it's pretty early in this moto. You see the countdown clock top of the screen, and we're going to run 30 minutes and 2 laps. Only 9 minutes have gone by so far, and Baggett has gone by Bogle to the number 3 spot. So can he run down those 2 KTMs?
Making
got plenty of time to do it. Yeah, at this point, you got to figure this guy's just getting warmed up. He'll be even stronger down the stretch. Going to be a great 250 race at Unadilla. Stay with us.
Welcome back to Unadilla, and we're here during the first 250 race. Now, I'm here at the top of this floor. I mean, it's near on 100 feet, and the TV does not do this justice. This main rut going around this corner here is almost, you know, up to my waist. These riders are really having to get into those ruts to make themselves come around this corner. And looking up from nuts are starting to really form up the face of this jump. So I think, you know, by the end of this moto, going on to the last two, it's going to be even harder than it is now.
Well, Georgia being British, she requested that we maybe start calling it a Wonder Wall. And
yeah, it's got the Oasis drop down into the Wonder Wall.
I'm telling you, it's worked out quite well. Everyone theorizing that the riders with experience racing in Europe would do well on this track, which used to be part of the GP scene back in the 70s and 80s. And indeed, two riders who have won world titles in Europe are out front. Ken Roczen out of Germany and his teammate Marvin Musquin out of France in the number 2 spot.
Roczen just turned a 2:15.3, Musquin a 2:14.2.
Well, Kenny Roczen is enjoying his time up front for more than the obvious reasons, you guys. What's really obvious is the dirt that comes off these bikes and the roof. The folks at home may not actually be able to seize all the stones that come with it as well. All these riders are wearing chest protectors to keep those stones, obviously, from hitting them more than necessary. So like I said, Kenny Roczen enjoying that time up front because, as an added bonus, maybe he'll have less bruises to count tonight.
Yeah, I would imagine that's gotta hurt, right? All those rocks. Monday, catching all new strangers in danger as Rooftop and Catfish head to Venezuela. That's Monday at 11 p.m. Eastern, only on Fuel TV. Yeah, now not all the riders run chest protectors at all the races, but I would guess this one, you better be darn sure you have one on for it.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And it's some of those sections where the track really gets one line and everyone's kind of choosing one line. And there's so much roost comes off the bike, so little white dots there. It's all little pebbles, little gravelly stuff. Now down the wall, see a photographer trying to make his way down there. It's important to get through this turn clean. Watch Musquin here, left foot's out. Oh, dabs his foot a little bit. Now there's a little kicker right at the top. Okay, and as the day goes on, that kicker gets a little bit bigger as a hole at the top and it pops you up. Late in the day, you'll actually try to pre-jump over that kicker all the way to the other side of that little tabletop.
Try to get the eye on the gap here. It's 5.5 seconds between Musquin and Roczen, and Musquin just ran a 2:14.2 lap, whereas Baggett and Roczen, first and third, were in the 2:15. So Musquin, fastest rider around right now. Oh, that is Alex Martin, who is out on the number 30. We were talking about the Martin boys. Jeremy making his pro debut today. Alex appears to be out of this one. Jeremy, solid in his first pro race, is in 7th. Not sure what happened here to Alex.
Yeah, it looks like he's all right. Just talking to his mechanic here. Possibly looking down at the bike, maybe an issue there. Give him a chance to check out little brother Jeremy, who's currently running in 7th. See how he does in his pro debut. But number 12 just stepped it up. He went to a 2:14.3. Musquin and Roczen running first and second. They were at 2:15. So our race for the lead, as it does with Baggett towards the end of the race, starting to close up.
Yeah, but I don't know if we can say that Baggett doesn't get good starts any longer. He doesn't exactly put in his best laps at the beginning of the race, but the starts have not been a problem the last couple of weeks. Started in 2nd in this one, dropped back to 4th, now 3rd after getting around Bogle, who was still the number 4 spot, and now trying to put some heat on the 38 of Musquin with Wharton and Anderson 5th and 6th in those Suzukis.
Yeah, but you can see that the KTM team, that they've been doing their work, and things are starting to come together right now. You know, Roger DeCosta, their team manager, I mean, he raced here in the GP days. At this point, he's like, hey, I don't care which one of those orange bikes gets up front, just as long as we stop Blake Baggett. He has been so strong, and these guys have been close.
Yep.
They've been close. They've been fast. Not able to notch the moto win yet.
What is incredible is that Roczen has actually led the 2nd most amount of laps of anyone in this series, even though actually they need more laps than Baggett, even though Baggett is the points leader. Let's send it back down to Lauren in the pit area.
Yeah, guys, Alex is already back out, but when he came in, he wanted to come in because his bike was actually cutting out on him a little bit. They took a look. They didn't really see what was going on, so they thought, send him back out there because they're pretty sure he can get this race finished up.
And that's a tough situation to be in. He's obviously lost a lot of positions, trying to figure out where he is in the order. Yeah, 36th now. Pit stop's not normally part of the motocross.
Yeah, and it's certainly not a situation like that. It's a real safety issue if that engine cuts out at the wrong time, and it just takes a little bog, a little blubber to put you into a bad situation. Plus, you don't get any points unless you're in the top 20, and right now he's 36th, so pretty doubtful. that he would gain any points at all.
Here's our one to watch, Jeremy Martin. He is in 7th. Not bad for the kid out of Minnesota, making his pro debut. Was supposed to race last week at Southwick, but he hurt his shoulder right before the final amateur race of the year, the Red Bull National at Red Lynn Ranch. Had to skip that, had to skip Southwick. He is back today and looking good.
Well, this is a Yamaha team that's really struggled this year, and they've chose to bring up Kyle Peters earlier this year, bring him up to the pro ranks early, signed Jeremy Martin. Talked to their team owner, Bobby Regan, last week. Says he's really excited about the young riders that he's bringing on the team. So looking for the future, because right now they just have not had the results that they were expecting.
Yeah, and they all have a even younger rider in the ranks already. A kid by the name of Cooper Webb, who's here hanging out today. He will probably be racing professionally next year. Oh, big mistake there from Jeremy Martin. And Zach Bell, who was a rival of his in the amateur ranks, is next in the order. So we might see a little showdown here, the showdown we did not get to see at the Red Bull Amateur National at Loretta Lynn. We might see it here at Unadilla. And then it's Malcolm Stewart, who's pretty new to this game as well, only his 2nd year as a pro. On that J-Star JDR KTM, Stewart had a great run last week at Southwick, and he is in 9th. And Eli Tomac has finally found the top 10, and we finally found him. It has been a tough go of it for Tomac. Here he is battling with his teammate, Will Hahn. They are 10th and 11th, and there goes Tomac, able to make the move.
Tomac, wow, what a bad start. He has been up front so much lately. He's having to work for it now.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt. He was the fastest rider in the sand last week at Southwick. He's going to need some speed to move further forward here in New York. Welcome back to Unadilla here on Fuel TV. Before this race began, we were talking quite a bit about this rider, Justin Barcia, a New York native. This is his home state track at Unadilla. Thought he might make a surge toward your championship points leader, Blake Baggett. It has not happened. A tough start for Barcia, a couple of mistakes. He finds himself in the number 12 position.
Well, this is a great situation, okay? Every week, what are my keys to the race? It's like a broken record.
Yep.
Get to start. Here's exactly what happens. Riders like Tomac and Barcia that have been fast enough to win motos and overalls, but in a competitive field like this, if you don't get to start, it is a massive disadvantage.
For more on the number 20, let's send it back down to Lauren Bolander in the pits. Lauren.
Yeah, Justin Barcia actually told me, as you guys said, this is considered his hometown race. He actually hasn't lived in the area for about 10 years, and he said it's crazy awesome when he comes here. They still claim him after all that. They won't call him from anywhere else but here. And he said interesting comments. He said no matter how he's doing on the bike, this place gives him such positive energy when he's out there because all of his fans are here. Kind of interesting comments coming from our guy second points while he's running in 12th, guys.
Yeah, he's going to need all that support right now, Lauren, because he is losing points quickly as Baggett, your series leader, is in 3rd. But how about this guy, Ken Roczen? The laps keep clicking off, and he just seems to get stronger and stronger. Now, he has certainly led to this point in the races several times this year, and Baggett has been able to come through and catch him. I don't know if that's going to happen today. In fact, the last time around, Roczen a second quicker than Baggett, and matching the lap time of his teammate Muscan, who was in 2nd.
7 minutes plus 2 laps. Roczen looks like he is fired up right now. He is really riding aggressive. He's riding a smart race. Last time was a 2:16.1, Muscan 2:16.1, and Baggett was the 2:17.4. Now Roczen goes up to a 2:17.3. Let's see where Muscan and Baggett come by.
Get the all-new Fuel TV mobile app to access the most UFC and action sports content and get it available all at your fingertips. Download it now for free. Go to fuel.tv/mobile.
Jason, the numbers are in. Muscan goes up to a 2:19.2, Baggett a 2:18.6. Baggett's now 12 seconds off of the lead. So Roczen dropping the hammer, can start to see a little light at the end of the tunnel, that checkered flag. What he so desperately has been working hard for.
Talked to him last week. He had taken a little vacation back home in Germany when we had 2 weekends off. previous to our previous race at Southwick, and he said, man, it was so much fun. I wish that I could have hung out there a little bit longer. But he does feel like he's gotten refreshed. He's kind of found the fun again in racing, and it seems to be paying off.
Dad, you are so right on point there. I had a chance to talk with his dad earlier. He says, you know, since he's been here in the U.S., it's just work, work, work all the time. Work, work, work. And so he got a chance to go back home, see mom, see the family, hang out with his friends. And it really did a lot for his spirit and his attitude.
Lead is 8 seconds now over his teammate, Muscan. There's, I think, a couple of riders who are a lap down right now. That's how big the lead actually is for Roczen. And then Muscan has 4 seconds on Baggett. So time running out if Baggett's going to put on a charge, try to go for the moto win. There is Muscan headed toward the wall. And he's got to get around these lap riders. Hear him revving the engine there as he's at the top of the hill to try to let them know he's there. And he's gotten through one. So Baggett in third, but Baggett may be going into championship mode with Tomac and Marcia well behind him. Third place may just be good enough today.
Well, that is the story. Last season, Baggett was ultra fast. He made a lot of mistakes, and one thing that I've been watching all summer long is that it seems like he's been checking off goals. Okay, make it through this race, use my head, not crash, up all these little things. And he seems to be correcting the mistakes from 1 year ago, which were purely the issue of why he gave up the championship last year.
Did have a little trouble earlier in this one. We're going to show you the replay here of the number 12. Not a big crash or anything like that.
Watch on the left side of your screen there. Off the track, inside those Wise Code banners, and the rule is to enter the track and then the next safest spot. So that, yeah.
And don't gain anything while you're off the track, which remember earlier, Marvin Muscan was off the track on the inside, made a move on Justin Vogel. I think that was for second at that point in the race. So we'll have to see if that pass could potentially be up for review with the folks at AMA Pro Racing and MX Sports Pro Racing. We'll see. Here is Baggett working his way through this very rough racetrack, and like you said, Jeff, the tracks that have potential traps to throw you down, Baggett seems to be handling all those challenges. Yeah,
he needs to be patient right now, and especially with the type of points lead that he has, he's just got to be thinking podiums. Obviously, he'll get the signboard from his mechanic, Barsha and Tomac. They're back in the pack. He's smart.
Tomac is in 7th. Barsha is in 9th. It's desperation time for them as Ken Roczen is looking to take his first win here in the U.S. Catching all new, the Ultimate Fighter Brazil, as the first middleweight semifinal bout will be decided. That's tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern, only on Fuel TV. Could be a historic day here for Red Bull KTM. They won Moto 1 with Ryan Dungey. They could win Moto 1 of the 250s here with Ken Roczen. That's a full international effort under that tent. Let's get to know these guys. Well, that's a pretty strong statement from Roger DeCoster, who brought the factory Honda team to great success in the 1980s and Suzuki to great success in the 90s and the 2000s, saying that this is maybe the best situation he has been in. But what a team he has built, getting that moto win with Dungey, now running 1 and 2 here in the 250 class here at Unadilla.
Last lap around, Roczen was a 2:18.17 to 2:18.7. Sorry, and Muscan was 2:17.5, so picked up a little bit of time on Roczen. Still the lead, 5 seconds. Starting to come down to it, a little less than 2 to go at this point. It's been a great moto for Ken Roczen here.
Jeff, I was going to say, not much of a challenge from Baggett down the stretch in this one. He is 18 seconds in back of your leader, Roczen. This is Roczen's race to lose right now. He keep it on 2 wheels. Finally going to get that long-awaited moto win.
Well, we still have a lap left to go. This has been a weird day already. Okay, let's just wait till this checkered flag. But you're right. This has been a fantastic race. He's had plenty of speed. Looks like his fitness is there. He looks great on the bike, and so far so good. He's going to head down into the gravity cavity. When he comes back up, he's going to get the white flag, 1 to go. It'll be important for Ken Roczen to stay focused, to think about the race, to not start thinking about that checkered flag. But 1 lap from now, if he's still leading, he's going to drop down in the gravity cavity, look up and see that checkered flag, and that's going to be really cool.
I don't believe KTM has ever won both of the first motos in the 2 classes on the same day. Back at the opener Hangtown a few years ago, they came so close to getting moto wins on the same day. Michael Lessie got one on a 350 in the 450 class. And Tommy Searle, who you might remember, an Englishman racing out here, nearly won a 250 moto that day, but they were not able to complete it. So this would be maybe the best day ever so far for KTM in U.S. motocross. They've won plenty of championships in Europe. They, of course, often dominate the off-road scene with cross-country and enduro racing and desert racing. But American motocross and supercross has been very tough. Hard code for them to crack. But they have certainly taken huge steps in the right direction. And this will be another big one here. Crossing the fingers as Ken Roczen is trying to complete it and get his first ever moto win here in the U.S.
Here you go. No big whip or anything over that Lucas Oil jump. Just is all business at this point. The way this season has gone for Ken Roczen, he's been so close so many times. Plus his teammate about 5 seconds behind right now. Any little mistake, a fall usually costs you about 8 to 10 seconds. So here we go, down the wall, get through here clean. Not going to be any real challenges after this section right here.
I'll tell you what, Ken Roczen has led so many of these motos, including the very first moto of the year at Hangtown in California. Got passed on the last lap by Blake Baggett, and unfortunately for Roczen, that would begin a series of motos where he would lead down to the last lap or two and get past, including last week at Southwick where he led just about all of the second moto. The difference is this time, no challenges down the stretch. He's going to hold strong, and the rider who won the World Championship last season has finally gotten a moto win in the U.S. Welcome into the record books, Ken Roczen. He takes the first moto here at Unadilla. And he is pumped. Launched that gravity cavity finish line so far. A little head shake there on the landing.
Oh, he's got to be so happy. You see K-Rock on the back of his pants there.
Welcome back to Unadilla, where the 250 class just finished up Moto 1 with a dominating performance by Kenny Roczen. Now, Kenny, tell us, how sweet does this feel to finally hit the top of the box?
Oh man, all the pressure is off. You know, I'm good now. The last 4 laps, I'd say I was just thinking about not crashing. But this pressure is off. You know, I can just right now and, you know, be all free. You know, I got my first win right now, even though it's late, but I'm glad I did it. And I'm happy with my Red Bull KTM. You know, the bike worked great here, and just thanks to Red Bull KTM and Fox, and especially Beaker and my parents. You know, everybody helping me out, and congrats to Marvin too. You know, 2 KTMs on the podium for the first moto is awesome.
Congratulations, Kenny.